Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today we are in the closet because what I need to show you is in the closet, so that's why we're here. This is a hair care video today, so something different than the fitness thing. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys somebody. This is her. Her name is Yasmeena, although we haven't decided if we're going to keep her name yet or if we're going to rename her. What we're gonna do, but basically we scheduled an appointment to go to an animal shelter, and we never go to an animal shelter without leaving with an animal of some kind. So we saw her, well, I saw her sitting up in the corner. I'll let her go. I saw her sitting up in the corner all alone. She was just looking at me. I'll put in a picture of what her adoption picture looked like, but it was so funny. But anyways, yeah, new member of the family, and reason why is because Tiger Lily has been recently walking around the house at night and crying, and we just felt bad, so me and my mom decided to make an appointment. We didn't know if we were actually gonna go and get a cat, but we wanted to just see like what kind of cats they had, and we ended up seeing her, and she is almost 4 years old, but she's a super small cat, and yeah, she's getting along with our animals well. We only got her a few days ago now, and so yeah, she's a very sweet girl. She's very tiny. You loafing? Meow. But anyways, let's get into the video. Today we have a little bit of a different video. I know I announced this on my Instagram story a few days ago, but today's video is actually going to be about hair, not about fitness for once. So I basically just want to come on here and just share a few tips that I've learned throughout the years of trying to grow my hair past my traps, basically. I'll get into my hair journey in a second, but basically I just wanted to share some products and like routines and tips that I do. So anyways, let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, I know I'm wearing kind of a weird dress for indoors, but I am going to the Cape or somewhere, hopefully, where I might need to be dressing up a little bit more than just sweatpants and gym attire. So I was trying on dresses, and basically, I don't know, I like this one, and I was about to film the YouTube video anyway, so I just kept it on. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing that inside. But anyways, let's get into the video. And then also, before we start off, I've been wanting to post a video like this for quite a long time, but I just felt like I wasn't qualified, I guess, to. I mean, obviously I don't have any sort of degree or actual education in this, but I feel like my hair transformation isn't complete yet, and I'm definitely still on my journey to getting healthy hair and getting it to where I want to, obviously. But I have made a lot of progress, in my opinion, if you see my before pictures to where I am now. So I just wanted to share what I've learned, and yeah, just for some background, I'll put up before and after pictures of my hair. So basically, I cut my hair really short about 4 years ago to my chin, and I started trying to grow it out, but I became obsessed with getting platinum blonde hair. So to get that, instead of going to a salon or doing it the right way, I went in the sun and put a ton of sun in my hair, and that basically destroyed my hair. It was falling out, it was like clumping, the whole thing. So, and then I went to the salon to try to bring it back down to my natural hair color, which is like what I have up here, like dark blonde, and it damaged it even worse. Hair started falling out even more. And so it became a struggle ever since, I guess, to get my hair past this point. And my hair was at that length for about 2 years. And basically, it was growing from the root, but at the ends, it was just snapping off as fast as it was growing. So that's why it was stuck at that point. But anyways, I implemented a few tips I'm going to talk about here to help my hair get past that point and finally be able to retain some of the length as it was growing out. But anyways, I have a list in my notes app right now that I'm going to go through. Initially, I'm going to talk about causes of damage. That's going to be this section. Causes of damage, most obvious one is bleach. So bleaching your hair is going to cause damage. I would just avoid bleach altogether if you're trying to grow out your hair. But if you're really insistent on lightening your hair, go to a professional and get it done. Do not use sun-in. I don't care how good the marketing is for that stuff. It's not worth it. It spreads unevenly on your hair. It lightens unevenly, and it overly damages the hair. There's just no good way of controlling how much it's going to lighten the hair and how much damage you're actually causing to it. I would go to a salon so they can control the amount of time that bleach is actually on your head and do it right. Next thing, sun damage. I mean, that goes kind of hand in hand again with the sun and thing, but avoiding the sun, having a heat protectant in your hair, just being out in the sun all the time. I mean, if you're walking around in the sun and you have your hair down, you can literally feel it getting extremely hot, like at least when you're at the beach and stuff like that. So I would put your hair in like a claw clip or something like that and just avoid having it be in the sun. Next thing, mechanical stress. That is basically pulling on the hair, things that you physically do to the hair to cause damage, like hair ties, tying your hair too tight, raking through your hair with a hairbrush. You want to avoid that. Being really rough with your hair, friction from a towel when you're drying your hair. Next up, styling tools. So heat on the hair, straightening the hair, curling the hair, blow drying the hair, stuff like that. You can still do those things. I personally don't do it at all, which is why my hair is I have kind of wavy hair and it dries kind of frizzy because I don't use heat tools, but I'm not going to use them until my hair is in a better place. But anyways, if you insist on using styling tools, definitely use a heat protectant, which I will recommend one later in the video. Next biggest thing I want to talk about when it comes to damaged hair and healing your hair is actually water quality, which I think is something that is overlooked quite a lot, and it's something that I wish I picked up on sooner because I personally live pretty far away from the city. I live on well water. We use well water, and that water is so hard and leaches so many things into the water that it was essentially coating my hair in this film of metal and buildup, and it was breaking off my hair, making the situation even worse because I already had damaged hair from the low lights I got in the salon to try to get my hair to be dark again, and also the sun, obviously. And also, if you have lighter hair like me, the metal and stuff like that is going to stick on the hair and make it look brassier, and personally it made my hair turn green because we have copper piping and basically our showers are dyed and tinted green and blue because of that. So those are warning signs that you have a problem with your water quality. I know a lot of people's solution to the water quality thing is to get a water filter. I personally bought many water filters off of Amazon and they didn't do anything. Like, I can tell they didn't do anything because the metals in my water were so significant that it would dye the tile in the shower, so I could tell it wasn't doing anything, and obviously I didn't see a significant change with that. But I am going to tell you guys something I wish I thought of sooner, especially because this is a fitness channel. I should have picked up on this sooner, is that you can just shower somewhere that's not actually your house. Like, go to Planet Fitness, get a $10 membership, $15 membership. I'm not really sure how much those are, but they're pretty cheap and you can use the showers. And city water can still be hard, but it tends to not be as hard as well water and things you're gonna find out in the middle of nowhere for your water source. So I recommend, I know it's kind of a hassle, but driving to a gym, getting a membership somewhere that has better water quality to wash your hair. And then the other option, if you do not want to do that, is to go to Walmart or some other store where you can buy big filtered water jugs and then use that to wash your hair. And then you'd have to relocate the water, scoop it out. I personally don't recommend that one. I did that for a few months and it was just so annoying and costed money, and I just didn't think it is as easy as just driving to the gym and washing my hair there. So that's what I personally do to get around the water quality problem. Next thing for causes of damage, or I guess things you should do if you have damage, is lack of trims. Sometimes your hair is just so damaged that there is truly nothing that you can do besides cut it off, because if it's really that damaged, it's gonna continue to just split up the hair shaft and damage even more hair. So I painfully had to go through that and cut the bottom few inches off that were so severely damaged. I just had to cut those off. It was very upsetting because, like I said, my hair was stuck at the same point for about 2.5 years maybe. So yeah, sometimes you really do just have to cut it off. But after that, I think there's always a level of damage and split ends that you're going to have. You're never going to have no split ends. And I find a problem with a lot of stylists and hair salons. You go in there and you ask for a certain amount off and they cut way more, or they say that the frequency that you need those trims are very often, but your hair only grows about 1/2 inch a month. So if you're going in every 2 months and cutting 1 inch off of your hair, you just cut off all the new growth. But something that I had to do on top of making a big chop was basically every single time my hair grows out 1/2 inch, I would have to cut off 1/2 inch. And that basically just made it so my hair was staying relatively the same length, but I was replacing the damaged hair with the newer, healthier hair at the top. So if you don't want to do a big chop like that, that's an easy way to start working towards having healthier hair and not having to do such a severe cut. Another thing I want to talk about is hair dusting. That's basically when you don't take off like just this. You go through your hair, and maybe I can put a video of somebody doing it. Okay guys, I could not find a video of somebody doing this, so I'm just going to do it. So here I have just a piece of my hair. See, I still have a bit of damage at the bottom, but it is like bouncier, and it's obviously not as damaged as it used to be. But basically what you do is you want to make sure that the hair is brushed out. I just have like a comb that's like a little bit, I already detangled my hair, so you don't want to be detangling your hair with this brush because this will rip your hair. But so basically you would go like this through the hair, and you'd put it in between your two fingers, and then you go like this, and basically it's going to make hairs that are a different length from the rest of your hairs kind of poke out a little bit more. And so like I can see one right now, like I can see a split end, so I'm just gonna cut that one off. Sorry, I've been editing this video all day. I'm kind of a mess, so my hair's a little bit frizzy. And I did not oil it. I need to take my own advice, but anyways, I'll see you guys. Oh, this is another thing. If you're gonna do this, you need to get professional quality hair cutting scissors, because a lot of scissors are dull and they won't cut the hair sharp enough, and so that'll just make it split all over again. So you want to make sure that you're using a very sharp, high quality scissors if you're going to do that. Next section I have here is the pre-wash routine. So what do I do before I wash my hair to try to make my hair healthier, basically? So I'm actually going to talk about hair oiling. Hair oiling is very popular. I see a lot of influencers doing it. I also did that. I also did the rosemary hair oiling thing at the scalp for hair growth, but personally I found that it didn't work, and it also made it so every single time I would oil my scalp, I would have to overly exfoliate and shampoo my scalp to make sure that all of the hair oil was off of my scalp, which just dried out my hair even more. Because if you don't basically double, like triple shampoo sometimes, that oil will not fully come out of your scalp and you will be left with oily hair. So what was the point of even showering? That also might be because I do have fine hair. So any amount of oil tends to show up a lot more on my hair than it would on somebody else's hair who is more textured and can absorb more oil. But personally, I found that hair oiling on the scalp is not good before shower. However, I do think that oiling your ends before showering is good and necessary. Well, what I do is I detangle all of my hair with a wet brush before I go into the shower. And then I basically cover from here to here in like a good amount of oil. I would say maybe like 4 to 5 drops of jojoba oil, enough to the point where it's noticeable. I let it sit for about like 15 minutes, and I do not brush it out again once I have the oil on. When your hair has oil on it or it has water on it, it is in a very fragile and weak state. So you definitely, even if you're using a wet brush, I just wouldn't do it. Pause. Okay, I just wanted to say, basically the opposite is true. If you have curly or coilier hair, it is better to detangle when your hair is wet and you have a conditioning product in it. But if you have finer, straighter, or maybe slightly wavy hair, the opposite is true, and you usually want to wait for your hair to be basically almost dry. Detangle it before, put the oil on evenly, try to make it as even as possible, let it sit, and then do your wash routine, which I'm about to talk about next. Okay, let's talk about hair washing. I personally wash my hair usually 2 to 3 times a week, and I have fine hair, and I also sweat a lot at the gym. So I can usually get about like 2 good days before I have to wash my hair. I'm currently on my 3rd day, so my hair is super greasy right now, and I don't have dry shampoo in, so it's looking a little bit flat and whatever right now. But that's what I do for hair wash frequency. Next thing I'm going to talk about, sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner. This is kind of a tricky one, and I've tried doing research on this, and I still don't really exactly know where I stand with it. I personally use drugstore shampoo and conditioner, and some of the worst results I've gotten have been from high-end shampoo and conditioners, just because I feel like they tend to overload them with perfumes or with moisturizing agents, which basically, if you have fine hair, it leaves you with like, it basically doesn't clean the hair enough, and you're just rubbing oils all over your hair again in the shower. So you come out with hair that's good for about a couple hours and then it's already greasy again. That's what happens to me when I use high-end shampoos. And sulfates are basically just a cleansing agent. They are a shampooing agent, and for a lot of people they say they don't like them because they're too harsh of a shampooing agent. But if you have fine hair and you tend to have more oily hair or greasy hair, sulfates can be a good thing just because they do strip the oil away a lot more. But that, on the other hand, if you do have super dry and damaged hair, using sulfate-free can be better just because it's going to leave more of that oil in your hair. So when my hair was at its most damaged, I was using sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner. Now I use shampoo and conditioner with sulfates just because it's a little bit more healthier. So my hair naturally is holding on to oil a bit better, so I need to have a more kind of harsh shampoo. But I was using the Love Beauty and Planet shampoo and conditioner, the sulfate-free one, which is just basically a drugstore shampoo and conditioner. I think it's about $20 altogether. For like the shampoo's $10, conditioner's $10. Those are pretty good. They are sulfate free, and they do have different ones that can be specialized for different hair types. So I do recommend them just because they're cheap, and I never had any problems with them personally. Now I basically just use whatever shampoo and conditioner smells good to me and isn't known for extreme hair loss. Like, I'll just pick up, like, I was using Pantene for 2 months recently. I've noticed hair growth within that time. My hair's grown about an inch since I started doing that, so I don't think it's causing any hair loss, and it works relatively well. So I would just look for one that you find non-irritating and that removes oil without drying it out too much. But one of the most important things I'm going to talk about here, there's a few like key points here, things I want people to walk away with. This is one of them. Use a microfiber towel when you get out of the bathroom and your hair is wet. So I already said earlier that when your hair is wet or oiled, it's in its when it's like overly saturated in oil, it's at its most fragile state basically. And so you don't want to be rubbing your hair and creating friction with a normal towel. So I'll put up a picture. You do need a microfiber towel. They're very cheap. You can basically wrap your hair in them, or you can pat them dry with it. That's one of my top recommendations for healthy hair. And then once you pat your hair dry with that, what I personally do and what a lot of other people do that have like finer hair texture or straight wavy hair is that you should let it air dry for a little bit. Get as much water out with the microfiber towel as you can. Let it air dry, and then once it's air dried, about 85% dry, I go in with my leave-in conditioner, which also has heat protectant in it, and then I will blow dry my hair to being fully dry on a warm to cool setting. That's very important. Most important part in this process is the microfiber towel and the leave-in conditioner, because the leave-in conditioner is going to add moisture back into the hair, and then the heat protectant is going to protect the hair. And on that note, I also want to mention, obviously I take showers besides when I'm just washing my hair. Another important thing is to use a shower cap when you are showering, just because when you don't want that humidity and that water getting into your hair when it's not a wash day. It's just going to make your hair frizzy and dry and cause all sorts of problems. So make sure you're protecting your hair when you are just taking showers. Next up is the night routine. So this is the most important part, or one of the most important parts, or whatever, one of the most important things that I thought made a big difference, which was oiling my ends every single night and also using a silk bonnet. If you take away one thing from this video, I would like it to be the silk bonnet recommendation. That is the item that I noticed gave me the most results, basically, in terms of not having any more breakage and being able to grow out my hair. So basically, it's going to stop your hair from getting damaged and having friction and getting pulled on, getting tangled during the night, which is going to overall lead to less damage. And also, when you're oiling your ends at the bottom every single night and then you're putting it into the silk cap, it helps it absorb a little bit better into the hair. Overall, usually I will just wake up with way softer and shinier hair, and I don't have to yank through my hair to brush it out in the morning, just because the silk cap keeps everything detangled and in place while I'm sleeping. So that was definitely a game changer, as well as the jojoba oil, which I put 1 to 2 drops, go like this in my hands, and I just apply it to the very ends. You already have the leave-in conditioner in your hair, so if you're someone like me with fine hair that's already product buildup is a lot more noticeable and it will weigh your hair down a lot more. So I only use like 1 to 2 drops of jojoba oil on my very ends at night, just so I don't have anything weighing down my hair. Next section is my product recommendations. These are going to be listed in my Amazon storefront, but I'm not sponsored by any of these people, and I earn like 10 cents off of these items, so I'm not just like telling you about them because I am getting a ton of money from this. No, like these are things I actually use. So number one thing I would say are soft hair ties. Don't use normal elastics. Those rip my hair out and cause breakage like crazy. Use soft ties. Those will be in my storefront. Next thing is claw clips. Those are primarily what I use for the gym, and I use them all the time too. That basically is just a way to keep your hair out of your face in a way that's not causing any tension or ripping at the hair. Next thing I already said was silk bonnet, but I'm saying it again just because it's so important. So silk bonnet. A lot of people say they use silk pillowcases in place of that, but I personally don't think you should, because your head slides off of the silk pillowcase during the night, and if you have longer hair, your hair isn't even on the silk pillowcase at that point, so there's essentially no point. I would just use the silk bonnet. Next thing I already mentioned, microfiber towel. That is also very important. Other thing is a gentle detangling brush. I basically only use detangling brushes. I will never use brushes with harder bristles just because they rip my hair out very easily and cause more breakage. Products I recommend, I think I already said this a little bit in the video, but organic 100% cold press jojoba oil, that is what I use for my hair. It's generally good for all hair types. I think it's supposed to like mimic your natural oils the best. I've personally used a ton of other oils. I think grapeseed, pumpkin, or coconut oil, argan oil, grapeseed oil, castor oil. None of those work for me. They kind of just like sat on top of my hair and didn't do anything, I guess. And I also had a hard time getting them out of my hair, especially the castor oil and the coconut oil. Those were just way too heavy for my hair type. But depending on your hair type, heavier oils like that will work better for you. Usually textured hair takes more to castor oil and coconut oil. And I see a lot of people with fine hair saying they also enjoy argan oil, but personally I didn't like that one. I think jojoba oil is a safe bet for all hair types, so that's the one I'm recommending here. For my leave-in conditioner that I've been using for months, I use the Redken One United All... I did not say that right. Redken One United All-in-One Leave-In Conditioner. That basically has heat protectant and it has like detangling agents in it. I don't know, but whatever it has in it, it makes my hair feel soft and detangled, and it has a nice smell. It's not overpowering or anything like that. So that is the one I've been using and that I recommend. There's also another one that is similar to the one that I use called the Pureology Color Fanatic Leave-In Conditioner. That one has a lot of good reviews on it. I personally I'm still using the one that I bought, and it's kind of expensive, but I would say it's worth it. So yeah, those are the only products that I really recommend, and I already talked about shampoos and conditioners. I use drugstore ones. I don't think anyone that immediately says and writes off all drugstore shampoo and conditioners are probably trying to sell you something. Like I said, one of the worst shampoos and conditioners I got was a $50 shampoo and a $50 conditioner, so $100 in total. And yeah, I deeply regretted it. And they weren't even that big too. They were so small. I can't believe I spent my money on that. But yeah, I think drugstore shampoo and conditioner can definitely be a good option for most people. Next thing I'm going to talk about are actual hair treatments for damage, like products that are specifically designed to repair bonds. And I personally have used the Olaplex Hair Perfector, and I'm not going to lie, I did not notice much of a difference at all. And for the price of it, I would say it's probably not worth it. There is also another treatment called K18 that is also aimed at repairing actual bonds in the hair, but I'm not gonna lie, it's too expensive and I've never bought it because of that. It's also a very small amount and you have to use it, I think, 1 to 2 times a week, which means you're going to be spending a lot of money on it over time. Basically, these items are marketed as having, I'm reading it right now, a peptide that repairs broken keratin chains, and I'm very suspicious and hesitant to believe any of this because you guys know my past experience if you've heard me talk on this channel before with my skincare, and I've been on Accutane and all that, and a lot of brands, places will say that they have peptides that can penetrate the skin and things that can penetrate the skin, but then every single time they say that, a study comes out on it and it proves that it actually can't do that because it's too big, like the molecule's too big or something like that. So it's basically just sitting on top of your skin. And I would almost guarantee that it's probably the same thing with hair care too. And I just think it's a lot of money to be betting on something like a peptide being able to penetrate a hair shaft when most of the time I've seen in real life that they have been proven to be wrong and that they cannot do that. But to their defense, there are a lot of people that say that they did notice a significant difference after using K18 or Olaplex, things like that. So if you're willing to spend the money to try it out, why not? It can't hurt the hair. The only thing is that it just might not work. That's my opinion on that. Now, we're basically done. We're at the bottom line. So things I'm going to go over once more to get it in your head. Okay, first thing you want to do for damaged hair, prevent the damage in the first place. So stop bleaching your hair, don't use sun-in, don't use styling tools all the time, don't make friction on the hair, and look out for your water quality. Okay, next thing I want to mention to people. I always, in my personal opinion, I think that natural, longer hair or just healthier styled short hair is going to look better than bleached hair no matter what. Like personally, I think that my features would probably go better with lighter hair, but the amount of damage that it would require me to take on to do that would make me look worse. So I personally am choosing to just have darker hair and have healthier hair. And also another thing that I want to remind people of is that a lot of people that have this longer, really white hair, it's not actually their hair. I mean, there are people that I've seen that somehow just have amazing hair strength and their hair can withstand the amount of bleach that requires you to be platinum blonde. But a lot of people's hair cannot handle that, and even those people's hair starts falling out and stuff like that and breaking. It's not maintainable color. A lot of these people that you see online, they basically have bleached hair up until here, and then they have hair extensions. And I didn't know hair extensions were a thing until I basically started posting. Like, I didn't know that hair extensions could look that real and that good. Like, I thought that it would be more obvious, but they do a really good job at doing those. And I mean, if you want to do hair extensions and you want platinum blonde hair, I mean, go for it. But hair extensions also cause damage to your real hair underneath. But yeah, I think it's just something to realize that a lot of these people's hair that you're seeing, like the super white hair, probably not real and might be extensions, so just keep that in mind. Okay, next thing which I'm gonna say, which is gonna be really annoying, you guys are gonna get mad at me. Be patient, because even after implementing all these tips that I said, even if you're doing everything right, it's still going to take your hair a long time to grow, like half an inch, it takes a month, so what is it, like 6 inches a year? It is going to take a while, but that time is going to pass anyways. So if you start implementing these tips now, once in a year from now or 2 years, you're going to have 6 inches to a foot of hair that's now healthy hair. But anyways, I hope you guys got at least probably one good thing out of this video, maybe just some tips. If you guys have any questions in the comments that you think I might be able to answer. Once again, I'm not an expert. Also, I'm not a trichologist or dermatologist or cosmetic person. I don't know. I'm not one of those people, but this is just research that I've accumulated over the years and my personal experiences. So I just wanted to say that again, and I hope you guys maybe got one good piece of advice from this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. It'll probably be an eating video or something more fitness related, as this is a fitness channel. But I just wanted to get this video out here because I do have a few people ask what my hair care routine is. So yeah, I just made this video. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye-bye.